Hey YouTube, I just got out of the theater for Godzilla Minus One, and here are my thoughts. Let's go. Godzilla Minus One was released on December 1st, 2023, and is a fully Japanese film by Toho, and it was subtitled in English. This is Toho's 33rd Godzilla film, making it the 37th film in the franchise. There's been a few American Godzilla films that have come out in recent years, I think starting in 2014, don't quote me on that. The movie's about 2 hours long, which I thought was the perfect length. The film depicts 1947 Japan, basically post-World War II. The main character is a man named Shikishima, who is a kamikaze pilot in World War II, but he fears dying, so he goes AWOL, and in the process, witnesses Godzilla's wrath for the first time. Shikishima finds a girl named Noriko, and they're both survivors of the war with no family left, so both characters make their own family when they take in an orphaned baby girl. Shikishima decides to make ends meet by becoming a minesweeper in the Pacific Ocean as a day job, clearing old bombs that the US laid all across the sea, bringing him once again face to face with Godzilla. On the small minesweeping boat, the three men that Shikishima works with all have chemistry with each other, and it made me care about them greatly. By 20 minutes into the film, I wanted to see these main characters succeed. The human drama of Godzilla Minus One was engaging and intensely emotional. It was horribly sad at times. It's easy to see the effect the war had on the citizens of Japan. They just wanted it all to end, basically. Godzilla as a concept was born from anti-war symbolism, and it shone through exceedingly well in Godzilla Minus One. Now onto the main monster at hand. Godzilla is a destructive force of nature, and he's gone back to his 1954 roots. It should be noted that the film generally has a consistent, serious tone throughout. It can be a pretty dire film. It's very, very emotional. Godzilla looks fantastic. He's just a rampaging beast, like he should be in the beginning. I think in a lot of movies that have come out recently, he's kind of, he's still stomping on humans, but he's kind of protecting the human race, especially in Godzilla King of the Monsters, which came out in 2019, I want to say. Godzilla is back to his roots in this film, and I think that's a really good creative choice from the director. The beating heart of Godzilla Minus One is definitely the protagonist, Shikishima. He contends with intense survivor's guilt from the war and some amount of cowardice, but he grows throughout the film and decides to stand up for his newfound family and friends. Shikishima chooses to not just survive, but live. I found the performances really convincing, and they pull you into the story pretty much immediately. I found the actor who played Shikishima to have a lot of his work cut out for him, because a lot of the scenes in the movie depend on him breaking down and crying and wondering what his will to live is, and seeing him find it throughout the movie is really, really satisfying to go on this journey with him. You see all the effects that the war had on all the different citizens of Japan, and of course our main characters. And then seeing Godzilla just come up out of nowhere is somewhat of a symbolism for World War II continuing on when it just should have ended. You really start to feel for all the characters when they think that the war is over, and it really isn't, because this giant monster just emerged out of the ocean. And that is Shikishima's entire arc. When will his personal war end? And I think it's a really beautiful arc for this character to go on. Now, my favorite scene of the movie is towards the end of the film, where two characters discuss the best way to overcome survivor's guilt from the war, the choice between choosing to live or giving up and dying. The acting in the scene is terrific, and it just pulled me straight in. Now, it's a Godzilla movie, so we gotta talk about CGI and special effects. They were absolutely incredible for this budget of this movie, which was a staggeringly low $15 million. Most Hollywood films released lately are between $150 and $300 million from the big studios like Disney, Universal, all that stuff. There's a lot of scenes taking place in the ocean, and Godzilla going above the water and under the water. And again, for how much money they had to spend on the visual effects, Godzilla and all the water effects and all the explosions and buildings crumbling and all the virtual environments that had to be made in 3D software, they all look spectacular. What Toho accomplished with Godzilla Minus One is basically a huge middle finger to the commonplace thinking of the big American studios in LA. Toho really made a fantastic film for such a small budget, and I wasn't sure when I first heard it if it was 50 million or 15, but either way, that would be a small budget. I also have to commend the sound design. So Godzilla's famous atomic breath, where he just shoots a laser beam, it reminded me of the first bomb falling in Oppenheimer, just like silence and then huge explosion. And it's treated really as just a terrible, horrific event when he's stomping around and knocking down buildings and stomping on people. But the sound design of the atomic breath and his roar is simply incredible. You're going to want to see this movie in like IMAX or really any theater that has super loud speakers. I really enjoyed the music of the film. I think it helped provide a nice background for the tense scenes and moments. The music was mostly comprised of string instruments and vocals, and I think they did a wonderful job selling the intensity and seriousness of the scenes that they were in. Now, the only complaint I have with Godzilla Minus One is literally the ending 10 seconds, which finished the film with an unnecessary, kind of sinister tone. Weird, I thought, in the middle of all my tears, because the final scene was so emotional. I don't have any problem saying that this is the best Godzilla film that I've seen. It brings in the post-World War II drama, and it shows Godzilla as he should always be, an incredible, destructive force of nature. So anyway, go see it. It's a great time at the movies, and the only thing I have left to say is thanks for watching this review, and happy holidays.